Bold
Podcast.
What is up, guys, and welcome to the Bold Podcast. Yo, let me tell y'all something. I have a superstar on my... Yo, no, but for real, I have somebody here who I saw as a freshman in college, and now they are Miss Dallas.
Dallas, USA.
Miss Dallas, USA. That's crazy.
It is.
So this is my guest, Ronnie. Thank you so much for coming on the show. So let's go ahead. This is where we're gonna start. I'm gonna go ahead and pray, and then after that, we're gonna get into the show. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Okay. Lord, we just thank you right now for my guest, Ronnie, Father God. Thank you for allowing us to come together and meet this weekend to film this show, God, and give you glory with this show, God. Lord, we bless you and we thank you for the bold, Father God, for the idea. We pray that this spreads out and goes to many people and they enjoy it and they share it, Father God. Lord, we just bless you and thank you for allowing us to have life, and we pray for more life and more advancement and more blessings, God. We love you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Okay, so let's get it in. Okay, so first, I'm going to start. I always start the same way. So how did we meet?
Oh, my goodness. When I think about my SFA days, things get blurry because I'm a little old now. You know, I'm a little old.
Nah.
No, I'm like, it had to be an organization because we're so involved on campus.
I believe, okay, all right. So I'm going to give you a little bit and then I'm going to let you kind of go off. Okay. So you were friends with somebody that I was dating. All right.
No. It came back to me. All of a sudden, my memory.
We ain't gonna say no names.
I do.
But I knew. I was like, I knew this will.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, I remember. We lived in the same dorm, so I knew her. Like, you know, when you first meet people, when you first go to college, like you want to connect with the first people that you meet. And so she was one of the first people that I met, like going into my dorm. She's really sweet, and I think that we met through that. We met. Through her.
We did.
Yes, I do.
Yes, and so okay, what? Help me. No.
I'm just kidding.
It was good. It was good. But you know, I gotta say this about you. You have always been the same person in terms of like your liveliness and your love for people, and I've noticed that. And no, here we go. We are 2 minutes in. No, look.
I'm just kidding.
It's like, don't you start.
No, not right now.
No, but you know, I really have respect that I've seen you grow and, you know, go into different ventures and stuff. And it's funny because, you know, we had recently come back together. I saw you at the roommates.
Yes,
the roommates.
And
that was
so great.
That was so great.
Yes, I know.
It was crazy. So it was great to see her, you know, and then to see you go from that, and you know, you were kind of probably already starting that process, but for you to end up with the crown, you know what I'm saying? That's so crazy. So I'm gonna have you kind of you could just tell me about like what you've been up to, like kind of give an elevator pitch of like who you are, you know, your title. All right, go ahead.
For those that don't know by now, I'm just kidding.
Right.
My name is Ronnisha Peterson. I am Miss Dallas USA 2022, and I'm going to be competing at Miss Texas, which is actually not that far away. It's literally 10 days away, but we're ready. But the preparation, a lot of people think when you're going after a crown, no matter what system you're in, it starts when you're like, I want that crown. But the road to pageantry starts when life starts. Like, I think you just utilize all the characteristics that you gathered throughout going through life, going through school, going through trials and tribulations. All those things that make you are what you attribute to bringing towards the stage when you go after a crown. So I've been getting ready for this. This is A.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's great. Oh, man, that's so cool because I know honestly, I only see pageants, you know, in movies, you know, in TV. And so I've actually met, I think a previous Miss USA, I think she came to an event and I just happened to be there with my family. Yeah. And so I was able to, and then it was like it was her. And then like, I think the junior, the teen, you know, the younger one. And so they were together kind of talking to the young girls and stuff. And I just happened to be there. Well, it was open to everybody. So,
I was just there.
Makes sense why I was there. Whoa. Yeah. But, you know, I was there and I was able to see them and I was like, man, that's so cool. But, you know, we usually see pageant life in the movies, the big movie, you know, the famous movies. It's like, I'm gonna join the pageant.
Yeah.
You know.
It's just gonna be great.
And so let me ask you, what you know, you've seen movies where they have like pageants and things like that. Is it totally different, or is it like there's some things that like, oh, that's factual.
When I think about that, I think about Miss Congeniality, which a lot of people have seen before. I think the great thing about my title is I get to reimagine the things that you first learn when you see things like that. Pageant girls, we are smart. I'm 2 degrees in. I think
she is. Come on now.
But smartness is
That's right.
defined by different things other than, of course, attaining a degree. But we are actually very driven, very passionate, and very willing to give to our community and being able to utilize our platform for that. But I think the movies make it fun. The dressing up, the hair, the makeup. Oh, that's part of it, and I love.
Yeah, see, that's
that's
what I was thinking. Because that's the thing. Ever since I known you, you've always loved that. You know what I mean? So it was like she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this." And it was like, "Baby," and I was like, "Seems about right." Don't you always do that? Like,
don't you just walk across campus thinking things are a pageant? Yeah, yes, that was definitely me.
Yo, that's beautiful, but it's beautiful. You get to do it at this, you know, at this level and things like that. So tell me this. I'll ask you this, and then we'll get into the bowl. Your journey to Miss USA. That's so cool. I know. So what level of preparation do you have to increase in? Like, okay, I did this to get Miss Dallas USA, but now I gotta to get. Is there a push, or is there?
Question.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like?
I love that question.
Yeah.
My preparation to go after being Miss Dallas was actually me versus me. A lot of people think that it's an out of touch thing, that you just need to go get the best interview coach. You need to get the best walking coach. Those things, of course, are very important.
Right, yeah.
But it's most important about pouring into yourself and really coming into who you really are. So I do think that I've had to up the antes of protecting my own mind and my own mental space about self-doubt. Self-doubt comes into play when you're bridging these gaps and going from a local title to going after a state title to going after a bigger title than that.
Yeah, come on.
I think you really start to utilize and believing in yourself and using everything that you've known and just making sure that you amplify that. You're amplifying who you already are. I think that's what it's coming towards. I think you're like, okay, this is what I have to do to get to this. Now let me amplify it. This is what I had to use to get here, but now I need to just step it up. So of course now I'm thinking you have to talk positively to yourself. Okay, I feel like in anything that we're trying to get, a lot of times we can be our own person that talks down to ourselves in our mind.
Real, yeah.
And of course you're like, there was a little bit of that, but then when you're about to go with Texas, like Miss Texas has beautiful contestants, so many great like women, and I think that's what I love about pageantry. You get to meet so many different women, and pageantry is a sport in my mind. So when you are preparing for a sport, like if you're preparing for basketball, you go in and you can tell who's the best at free throws. You can tell who's the best at, who's the fastest. But in pageantry, it's the only thing that you're doing where you're figuring out everybody's a winner in their own respects.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're just literally like, I'm a winner in this aspect. How can I take these particular characteristics and just turn it up
to the max. Yeah. And you know, and that's so cool. Like I love that you said that it's a sport, because a lot of people miss that. Like I said, they look at the TV and they're like, oh, it's just fun and it's just girls doing. But I'm telling you, like
I'm in the gym. Okay.
That's what, you know what I'm saying? I see the arms. I see your tone. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Shout out to Kofi. That's my trainer.
Thank you, trainer. Look, you know, and I know you dance and everything. And so it's a thing that it's a complete lifestyle that you have to change to embody that. You know what I'm saying? So, but you already doing that. So you're just pushing it to the max. That's good. That's good. Okay. So now let's get into the bowl. So this is how the bowl works.
Okay.
You just pull from the bowl, whatever topic you get. That's what we talk about. I just ask you a question and we just...
Okay.
It's simple. It's simple.
I'm pulling.
All right. Everybody closes their eyes. I love it. No, I love it. That was good. Okay. All right, what you got?
Career.
All right. Okay, so this is what we'll do. I'll ask you about your career. I know we talked about, you know, Miss Dallas USA, but we'll talk about, because you do have a career as well. You do, right? So let's talk about that. So what career are you in?
I have been an educator for the past 7 years for special education, specifically in math.
Nice. Okay. And love the kids. You know, shout out to the kids.
I've only actually taught in Title I schools, which are socioeconomically disadvantaged children. And so I love being able to give back to particular kids that don't necessarily get the type of support that they need in order to be successful. A lot of people just think that it's just academics. If they get academics, kids need to be poured into in so many different types of ways. And I love being able to go to my career because I know it's just like not just a job. It's a career that you pour into your heart. And I get to have the conversations and get to listen to the things they love. And they teach me stuff every day. And they make you laugh. One thing about a kid, they're going to make something funny. Okay? If you want to laugh, ask a middle schooler. Just ask them how I look today. You will laugh because they will find something to point out about you. But like, wow. I love it. No, okay. I love it. I'm a middle school teacher right now. I've taught every level at some point, but right now I'm a middle school and I love it.
That's so good. That's so good. And I'll ask you, when it comes to the children, what do you think is, the most, because I know you teach math, right? But I know them being around you and seeing you first, do they know about
Yes, I teach 5th and 6th graders. So they're still at that age, and it's intermediate, so it's just 5th and 6th in the school. Okay. So they're still at the age where you can still create some magic. So I actually told my class that it's a secret that I'm Miss Dallas. So they feel like they know this secret that nobody
like your superhero.
Else knows.
Yeah.
And they walk around the hallways like, guys, you can't tell anybody. Like, our teacher is Miss Dallas. So I do. They do know, but they just think that they're the only ones that know. And I'm going to keep that sparkle. I'm giving the Santa Claus sparkle, like that little pizzazz to it. So they know. And that
is so cool because it's like you're a superhero. Like, this is my secret identity.
Yeah, it's giving Hannah Montana. Yeah. It's totally giving it best of both worlds. It is. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. No, that's great. And I love that. And, I think because my mom's a teacher. And then my sister's a teacher. So shout out to the teachers,
we love teachers.
I know. And I see how hard teachers work, and the things that y'all put into the students. Yeah. And, and I'll ask you, as far as the kids, what are some things, outside of math, outside of subjects, you know what I mean, that you feel like, man, kids need to, there's something that you bestow to the kids,
You have to give high expectations of what they're able to attain, not just get an A. I need you to learn how to have conflict resolution. When you have a problem with another student, we don't just put our hands on each other. We have conversations. Why did that hurt your feelings? Express your feelings. How did that make you feel? Do you feel like you want to say sorry right now? Do you feel you need a second to cool down? I want to teach them how to regulate their own emotions so they can be effective communicators, which is very hard, especially when you're dealing with students with disabilities.
Yeah, and and that's beautiful because that's exactly, I knew you would say it, but of course I knew. That's why you're here. But look, here we go. But that's really true. The fact that it's really learning life skills, learning people skills, because subjects can only flourish when you can control who you are, like you said, your emotions, like how you deal with people. And then because if you're using math, if you're great at math, but you don't know how to talk to people.
We see that a lot in the real world with adults.
We do see that's what I'm saying.
You got to be both smart, book smart, and you're so smart. You got to be smart about your own persons. That's just as important.
That's just as important, and I think that's beautiful. Would you ever? So, what made you choose that grade level or that? You know what I mean? That area.
Well, that particular area is actually have a cousin that's selective mute, and I grew up with her, and she would only talk to me. And I would feel so special, but my dad would be like, you just have the gift of gab. You keep talking, people are going to talk to you at a certain point. But I heard that as you have a special gift, so go after it. Yeah. And so that's how I utilize into being a special education teacher. But with middle school, I enjoy them because it's they're at that age where you can still, of course you can pour into all kids. Right. But they're still able to listen to you. And then you also get to be yourself even more. Because middle school kid doesn't get anything if you're like, please stop. You have to be like, they can hear all of this. You give them a look, you be like, they're like, okay, that's not right, huh? I'm like, yeah, that's not right. You knew that wasn't right. Yeah, I like that. So I love the way that I can communicate with them in funny ways too as well. Because they don't always need redirection by just getting at them. Sometimes you just got to be soft with them, but in different ways to where they can understand. They get the look.
That's a special. I love that. That's a special thing that you have been able to communicate, because a lot of times people think communication is just verbal, but it's no, it goes based off of your vibe too. Like you can come in, because I know you come in with joy and with peace, and so they're like, oh, this is the environment. This is how we should. I love that. And around middle school, you don't really know who you are either. So that's an important time for you to take from people that you look up to. And I think it's good that they have you, because they're able to say, I want to be like, They
do. They do. They're always looking to me, and I just think it's so great how, like, I pour into them, but they pour into me in a different way as well. They always remind me of just how great I am. But literally, my students see me, like, physically at the worst. When I go to work, I'm just trying to get there. Yeah. I'm just trying to get there. I, like, throw my hair up in a clip. They're like, you look so pretty today. I like your shoes. And I'm wearing, like, forces. They're like, yeah, you clean. I'm like, girl, thank you. Thanks,
girl, thank you.
So that's what I love about it too.
That is good. That's perfect. That's crazy. Okay, baby. All right. So now let's this is what we'll do. We'll go ahead and switch into another topic as well. Unless you had anything else on your career. Okay, baby. But that's beautiful though. Thanks. Teaching. Yeah. It's perfect.
What do we have?
All right, let's see. Oh man.
God and religion.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we'll talk about it in a way. Because we were kind of talking about it earlier, like a little bit. Yeah. What do you feel God has really done for you as far as, look, that's a broad question. Stay strong.
That deep breath.
I said, whoa.
Never would have made it.
Yeah, that's
playing in your head. Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you feel like your relationship with God has really brought out for your life?
Ooh, it's just so much like goes through my head, but I can just say it teaches you to trust. I feel like a lot of times we get so disappointed because we're so caught up in our own plan. We're like, this is my plan. This is the day it's going to happen. This is when it's going to happen. But one thing God has taught me is that rejection is redirection. Sometimes you are being redirected in a place that is meant for you. And just because I closed the door don't mean I didn't open the other one over there. That's even something greater behind it. So it just makes me trust my journey. Even when I don't understand what's going on, it makes me trust that, okay, I'm being guided thus far. I've gotten here because I believed in the path, and just trusting it makes it so much easier, because a lot of times we're fighting against ourselves. We're fighting for the things that we think should be because we feel like we know everything, but there's a greater divine that's happening in order for us to get to where we're meant to.
Yeah, and I think I always talk about how God is really about lifestyle. Like it's a lifestyle that you live where it's a personal relationship with God, because a lot of people will talk about like, oh, religion. And it's like, well, no, like when you get close to God, it's a relationship where he can come to you and say, hey,
didn't I tell you?
Put his hand on your shoulder.
The tap.
Yeah, the little hey, you're going in the wrong direction.
It's a little push because you ain't listening to the tap. You gotta listen to the
gotta give you a bump a little bit. And and that's the thing too. Like I love that how you said about the trust, because I think people are in a place where it can be tough to trust nowadays. And really it's tough to trust people around you. Yeah. But more so it's tough to trust yourself in the way that you said about, I had so much doubt, like, and you can sit with yourself and just be like, man, God don't want this for me. Yeah. Just forget it. Yeah. And he'll be like, go, you're spiraling, and you'll spiral out of control, So true. And so I want to ask you with that, when did it come to you that you wanted to go into pageant life? I'll ask you that, like, and what did God do as far as like, all right, this is going to be an interesting question. Okay. So what are some things that God blocked? Because I want to talk about you getting to here. So what are some things that God blocked, and what are some things that he allowed? Like, okay, go this way. Nope.
I can think about the start. I can think about the start of that.
Yeah.
I think 2020, during that pandemic, there was a lot that stopped. Everything that stopped. And that happened to be the year that I graduated with my master's. And I had my plan. My plan was to go be a principal. I got my master's in educational leadership, was going to take my principal cert. Schools shut down. Like the places to take those certified tests for you to even get that was gone. Right. So I was like, what is my next thing? And I started to realize too, after attaining my degree, I was like, you have to start building relationships. I know you've built your brain. Like, I know, girl, you're smart. We get it. Yeah. We get it, girly pop. We get it. But you have to build those relationships. You do. And he put not a stop on that. He was just like, you completed that. That's great. But now it's time for you to go in a different direction and start learning about the people that are around you and with you. And so that actually led me to going to my first pageant. My first pageant I went to in 2020. And that's when I just started this idea, I need to be like, these are the girls I want to be around. It's so funny because I literally remember Paige, she was Miss Dallas 2020. And I remember going, and when you're such in awe, the confidence that it takes to go and put on a swimsuit in front of people and to speak and answer those questions when people are asking you and that one light is hitting the side of your face.
Yeah, we can't see who's asking.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know who's asking. And I remember, actually, it's funny. She was like doing her walk off before her final question and she tripped. She didn't stump. She didn't fall, but she like tripped. And when she came back out, like the person gave her the mic to answer the question. She was like, hopefully I don't trip when I'm answering this question. And I was like, I need to be around girls just like that. Yeah, that's what I need to be around. So me not going after the venture academically and pouring back into relations and building relations and finding a new path about just building myself up. That's how I was redirected from something I thought that was everything. I need to be principal. I need to go get the best job. I need to go do this. Like, no, you need to find a community too. I need you to find a positive community as well in order for you to have that village for you to be able to accomplish what I want you to accomplish. And
oh man, you said so much there. That's so great. That's so great. And you know, like I say, it makes me so proud because just to see, you know, how far you've come, because, you know, we used to talk about that and talk about how, you know, you always had a great attitude about you where you wanted to, like, you know, come on, everybody, be included. Do this. Look, you know what I'm talking about? Yes, I do. Because we were talking about it, and like, you just, because I'm like that too. You know, I'm chill, but I'm also like, come on, y'all, we could do. And I just see, like, I hate to see that stuff get snuffed out by people that aren't like you. You know, and it's not because they don't feel like it's great. Yeah, it's because they feel like I can't do that. So.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the quote. That's
it's
the Instagram
crazy.
caption. That's the next Instagram caption.
Write that down. Write that down.
No, for real. That is true.
And so, you know, I see that people try and snuff that stuff out. But like you said, like, God knew the community that was right for you, where he was like, nah, you need people that can, look, I'm about to go deeper, that can trip and keep on. Look.
And get back up again like it was nothing. So, like, flawless. Answered that question like, did that happen? I don't even think that happened. And I was just like, that's the people. And she laughed about it. That's the thing. She laughed about it. She didn't come out there like angry. And that's something that pageantry has taught me as well. It's about your reaction to stuff. You're going to always fall. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make wrong choices sometimes. You may think that dress looks good on you. It might not be the one.
Might not be the dress for
But
you.
it wasn't that moment, and you need to wear it and be proud of who you were in that moment, accept that, and keep moving forward and make a different choice. It's about how you respond to things after learning what's best. So that's what I love about, like, my pageant world, my pageant journey, is just being able to be more confident in who I am and laugh at the things that I've done, and to be more accepting of who I am no matter where my journey takes me.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, you know, and I love to see that. I love to see it. I'll ask you too, like, as a side note, do you because we talked about a few like rules and stuff or anything. What are some like public rules that people don't know about, but that you can share, that it's like, hey, when you're doing this, you have to do this, if you can share any? If not,
well, I love, like, with my particular system, being in the USA system, they pour into you so much that you're not even trying to think about going to other systems. But my system exclusively, when I'm Miss Dallas USA, I'm Miss Dallas USA. So a lot of, you can't like go, because I know a lot of people confused. There's different systems, guys.
That's what I was going to ask
you.
We're
not all the same.
Yeah, guys. Get into that.
Even though
don't know.
everybody is beautiful. Miss Texas, America's Miss Texas was just yesterday. And it was such an amazing, they do talent, they do fitness, they do on-stage question, and that's their pageant, and then you go to Miss America for that. And so I'm in the USA system, which is tied to Miss USA, Miss Universe. So those are two separate things, actually. And so I guess a lot of people don't know that there's different systems in pageantry that require different things. Like, I don't do talent, but shout out to those girls that do talent, because y'all were killing it. I love that. They were singing, and I said, "Oh yes, ma'am, sing that song. I love that song. Never heard it, but I love it."
So silly, yeah,
yeah.
No,
so
that's great. Okay, and see, that's that's pretty much what I was talking about because I didn't know about systems. Like I was like, oh, it's a pageant, and everybody, because I knew it was different, quote unquote, locations. Like, oh, you go here for this pageant, you go there for that pageant. But I didn't know. These are the. But I didn't know there was a system, so I thought it was always, you'll see the And I always go back to the movies because this is where most people watch them, and they'll be like juggling on a unicycle, and we're like, oh, talent, and then what I'm saying, they always do that. I don't know why they do that.
Jiggling,
yeah,
hilarious.
They always do. You know what I'm saying?
Something real extra, giving clown, but it's okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I really, that's why I really wanted to have you on the show. Plus, you my dog too, but also because I wanted people to know like. There's such a high quality respect level for the women that do pageants. You know what I mean? And it's such a high, like, exquisite type thing where it's like, no, it's heavy. Like it's important,
it's It's like anything else. I know like there's a lot of people that like love their sport, love football, love basketball, love baseball. Shout out to Texas Rangers. We love baseball. Shout out to them. The way you prep for those, you don't play when you're prepping. When you're in off season, it's not really an off season when you have to play, when you got to get ready.
Yeah,
so that's just basically what it is in pageantry. Okay. Like we are getting ready mentally, we're getting ready physically, we're getting ready emotionally.
Yeah.
So we always on go. That's period. Shout out to all my pageant girls.
Hey, no, that's good. Did you ever, and I'll ask you this, then we'll get back to the bowl.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel, because I know you weren't always in pageant life. So, and there are some that have been in it forever. We kind of talked about that a little bit. Did you ever feel like, oh man?
What? Absolutely.
Yeah, talk about that. So talk about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah, come on.
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
She will.
I'm gonna tell you the
she
truth.
will. Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that helped me the longest. So I have actually this journal that I got from Walmart when I decided in 2020. I went and got a journal and I literally wrote down like how much time that I have until the next Miss Dallas and when I want. And it says on the front of it like Miss Dallas 2021. And there's a age limit. There's an age limit with the USA system. And I was right on the cusp of like being out of eligibility. And I kept telling myself, like, I want to be perfect before I do it. Or I want to be like everybody else before I do it. And I was standing in my own way. Because a lot of people don't understand, like, you can practice, but until you play a game, you don't know how you're going to handle it under pressure.
Yes.
So you have to put yourself out there and be willing to be seen trying. I think a lot of people are not willing to do that. And I wasn't willing to do that. And I decided last year was my first year ever competing, and I decided let me just do it. Let me just try. Yeah. And I actually wound up winning on my third pageant, which was going to be my last pageant because of eligibility. But that was the time where I started to realize that, being 100% ready is never a thing. Like sometimes you just got to take that jump, that leap of faith and just believe and trusting in your path that you're doing what's meant for you, and what's meant for you will never miss you. And so I definitely struggled with that in the beginning. I was like, oh no, I can't do it until I know this. I just need to know myself and know I need to try. That's all it takes.
And and I'll say this, it's funny because I was just talking to somebody about this not too long ago, and I was like, and God was really showing me like when he was like, I can't fix something that you never put out. And we'll get in a place where like, I need to perfect it in here. He said, but what you're missing is you're missing the feedback from this person and that person and this person that can push you to where you need to be. So you can be in your room like, all right, I'm going to walk like this. I'm going to do this. Yes. And then it's not until you get out there where it's like, hey, you're actually not supposed to walk like this. You're supposed to walk like this. And you'd be like, I did not know that, but you would have never known.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's refreshing to hear that because a lot of people are trying to perfect things in their hidden space. Like I'll put out when it's perfect. Yeah. And there's mistakes that need to be made to make it perfect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even like when you're fixing metal or something, it has to go into the fire a bit. And then they're able to perfect it.
Yes, exactly. You have to feel what it's like to have those nerves in your body to be on stage to really feel. You can walk great in your room with in the closet. You can walk really great there. But how do you, when there's people here, when there's people cheering, when your brain and your body are shaking and you're still wearing 4-inch heels, how are you gonna walk? Right. That's how you're gonna walk. You gotta practice that. You gotta practice it under pressure. And that's one thing that changed from my first pageant. Like literally my first pageant, shout out to that version of myself. I still appreciate everything that she did to put me here. But even my best friend will be like, girl, like you kept your smile. Nobody smiles that hard the whole time. But I was just like nervous. I was like, ting. Walking like that. And then at my last pageant, if you just look at the video, like I was walking like, if this is my last chance, I'm going to give it everything that I got. Yeah. And everything that I got is really taking in this moment. So you can see that I slowed down. You can see that I looked around at the crowd. I really just wanted to be more engaged and being more present in that moment.
There you go.
And here I am.
I know. And you would have never got there if you didn't take that first step.
Exactly.
And that's all I really want to show people is like, yo, like there's a path, but you have to step on the path to get you got to take the steps.
Sometimes you got to take the leap. I know.
It's a leap too.
Sometimes people just think, oh, I'm going to take the little step. No, sometimes you got to be like, you know what? I'm going to jump in, but I have a life vest. I've been here before. I will make it out okay. My village has me. Like, like the trust I have for God, it has me. Let me just try.
Yeah,
like, let
exactly.
me just try. Sometimes.
And as long as you have life, you can always redo. You can always rebuild. It's like, as long as you living, hey, you could be like, all right, I failed at one time, but I'm still alive. So let me
try again.
I'm telling you, and it could be the best. Yeah. Like you said, it'd be the best decision you ever made to get back out there.
Yeah, yes, that's how mine
That's
went.
good. Let me ask you too. I know I tell you we're gonna get back in. But anyway, you dance.
Yes.
Hey, all right. So I wanted to ask you, if you were to have a talent portion,
would
that be your thing?
It would have to be.
Okay.
Because y'all do not want to hear me sing. So it would definitely it would definitely have to be dance. I think my mom would be disappointed if it wasn't. She'd be like, I put in that money all for you from middle school to this thing. This is what you came to Yelp. Why are you on here trying to sing Yelp?
Why is this girl juggling?
Yes, exactly. Why is she on a unicycle? She don't even know how to do that.
There you go.
So yes, it would have to be. It would have to be dance. It would have to be dance.
What kind of dance do you do?
Now I think I'm more of a Ray now, but I love palm. I love jazz. I grew up more so like the ballet and more contemporary lyrical, just from where I grew up inside the like Woodlands area.
Okay,
but
of course.
As I've gained and been around my best friend who's also a really good dancer, and we danced together in college for a lot of things. She's taught me a little bit more where I feel more confident in my jazz to give a little jazziness. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I love it. Yeah, walking down the street.
No, for real.
Yeah.
That's probably.
Okay, good. Yeah, I wanted to just mention that. I just wanted to put it out there too. Yeah, so you know, she be dancing. She be dancing.
I do.
And later I'm gonna have you put your social media so people can follow you and stuff. So stay tuned for that. And then let's go to the bolt. The hand. Bolt. You are such a.
Oh Lord, here you go.
All right, what you? Yes, all right.
Sit up straight.
This is what I love. You know what? Let me say this. Look, I knew it. Let me say this, because when this question comes up, it's so funny because everybody reacts the same because they're like, "Oh Lord," I'm like, "What is going on out here?" So if y'all don't know, the topic is dating, and I know that this could be a.
Let me stop making that face. Oh, jeez. Okay.
If you're willing.
No, I want to be transparent. I feel like if you're not willing to share your authenticity, which means both the pros and the cons that have to do with your life, you're not able to connect with people. Everything isn't prim and proper and perfect. And in the dating world, it's not that way. There's two opposite people trying to connect. That's always going to be difficult.
Yes, ma'am.
It's going to be difficult.
Yes, ma'am. So let me ask, what is your like your dating status? How's that going? I mean, you don't have to give names, but just, you know.
I don't give names.
They ain't coming after me.
No, you're so silly. I am single right now, and I think this is the best thing to do with my journey of what I'm trying to accomplish.
Respect,
because in dating, it takes energy, and it takes a certain type of commitment that sometimes you don't have when you're trying to chase after particular goals and particular dreams. Right now, this takes 100% of what I have in my mental capacity. Yeah. And so that's what I'm giving it towards. But within dating, I love having this conversation with my friends because we always are laughing because there's always something to laugh about. I just think right now, men and women are so at odds. We are at
Thank you.
odds.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. It's like we do not like each other. Like, what happened?
Well, I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. Like,
it's so,
yeah.
you know what? And I was going to actually ask you about that too, but you already have stated. I was like, I look around and it's just this thing. It's such a defensive thing. Like even when I'll approach, you know, women and I'll be like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I notice that it takes them a minute to be like,
even to be
you can talk to me. Yeah. Cause I'll look at them and they're like, what do you want? Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, you know, and I have to, look.
It do be like that.
But it, you know, of course I respect it because they don't say that, but it's in their face. But I noticed, so there's a lot of prep that I have to do until they get soft. And so they'll be like kind of looking and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt y'all. I just want to, and then they're kind of like, oh, okay. Like,
not that bad.
Yeah,
or whatever.
He's all right.
Yeah.
And so I have to like defrost the heart.
Ooh.
That's what we do on the bowl. You know what I'm saying? No, okay.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to defrost the hardened heart and to even get an opening to talk.
Just to say hello.
Just to say hello. I know. I know. So that's what I want to ask you about. Do you feel like you have become not necessarily cold, but like kind of defensive in that space, or do you feel like you're kind of open and, you know? Okay.
I have this philosophy, and I actually got this at one of my internships when I went to Nevada. And I remember Miss Christiana, she had told me, you have two choices. You can go through life feeling nothing, or you can go through life feeling. And feeling sometimes ain't gonna be that great, but you gotta make a choice. And when she told me that was probably like 5-6 years ago, I was like, I rather feel and have like experiences of connecting with people and getting to know them, even when it will be. Trusting somebody is a difficult thing. I don't want to make it look like yeah, just trust everybody. No, you have to have discernment with the people that you share like your thoughts and your feelings with. But I've learned for myself that I have to be open, because only when you're open and you're authentic to yourself and sharing your real experiences about who you are is when you can attract people that are the same way. If you're acting frosted up, like you said, you're going to attract probably somebody that's emotionally unavailable, because that's the only person that's what's happening.
That's what you're giving.
So you have to be mindful about the energy and the things that you're putting out there to people, because it's what you're going to receive back.
That's so good.
So that's what I try to go for, making sure that I'm always dealing with somebody that's first and foremost respectful to who I am and to what I want to do with my life, and just respecting that. And then I'm a pretty like friendly person. I can get along with anybody, but I always let people know I'm not like person lead them on like, hey, this is going to be something like I'm actually going to, like, this is my life.
My life. Yeah.
Like this is what it is. So I'm transparent in that sense, but I'm not a closed off person. Like I think I'm very easy to talk to if you just want to talk to me in general. My best friend probably like, you need to stop being that way. You're too nice.
Yeah.
It's worked for me so far, so I'm gonna keep going with that.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because you really are very open. Like you talk to people, and I think that's so crucial. And I'll ask you this too: because even speaking at the way you are, what do you think will fix us being? Now I know it's a journey, but
a long one.
What are some things that you think will push us in the right direction as far as dating?
Accountability.
See, look, let me tell y'all something real quick.
Silly.
This one right here,
you silly.
Yeah, because they know on the podcast I say that all the time about accountability. I'm like, that's the first thing I look for. If you don't have accountability, there's no progression. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's accountability on both ends.
Yeah,
I think that both parties, men and women, both take parts in the ways that we are like having like a separate thing, especially within the Black community. I feel like in particular, we are so harsh on each other, the men and women within that. And I think some of it is not necessarily our faults. I think it's our circumstances. You got to think about the way your family raised you, the way that your mom's family raised her, so on and so forth. That impacts the way that we interact with one another.
Yes.
And so one thing that I think would really help is us understanding that a lot of the things that makes us at odds is not what we're doing to each other. It's the stuff we see and the stuff we heard that we're trying to protect ourselves from. But everybody is not that way, guys. I know. It's hard to believe. But everybody is not that way. Everybody is not that way. Yeah. So you just have to start having faith that there are good people out there that really want to connect with you. And it starts with taking accountability. Like, hey, I know why people show up this way. I know why I show up this way. you know why you show up this way. What can we do to bridge that gap? It's about communication about that. Like, we have to communicate about how we can bridge the gap about, I feel like this is your fault and you feel like we got to bridge the gap. We gotta bridge it.
That's what I was going to say too. Accountability, because when you have two people that's with anything. When you work on yourself and do your part, then and connect with somebody else that's working on themselves. When you come together, you're both working on a project together. And that's something that I've always told people, like, about marriage and things like that, like, because I'm not married, but from what I've seen, I've always said that marriage is about having a common goal. It's always about what is something that we could work on. So you'll see a lot of couples come together like, hey, we both do real estate, or we both do blah blah, and our goal is to buy this many properties. And so as long as you have a goal that y'all are both partners on, you can keep working on it, because it's like, hey, we might go through this, but look, we're gonna keep doing this. And then when you finish this project, you say, what else can we work on together? What can we build together? And I know that has such a, I've noticed for men, it's crazy. But in today's society, it's had a bad taste where men are like, because, you know, the career woman, quote unquote, is getting a bad rep. You know, for men, they're like, oh, she's going to feel like blah, blah, the boss, you know. But the thing that I realized is it comes back to, what is y'all's goal together? You know, because when you can work with somebody and say, yeah, she might own this company, she might be the boss, but it's like, how can y'all come together on something? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
I think you have to also, for anybody, I think there's a lot of insecurities that people have. That also is the reason why there's such a disconnect. If dating someone, even as a man, I'm just speaking as a man, if dating someone that makes more than you, it doesn't make you feel good, it probably won't change. So probably make decisions that make you feel good, and that's okay. Everybody has their preferences. Do what makes you happy. I'm not here to judge. That's not my ministry. I'm not here
not
to
your
judge.
MO.
It's not mine. So make sure that you're dating, just because somebody else says, oh, you need to get the woman with the most money, or when women, like, you need to get the man with the most money, you need to get a man like this. Like, sit back and think about, what do I want? What makes me happy at the end of the day? Not what social media told me makes me happy. What makes you happy at the end of the day? And so I think when people start not thinking that everything's supposed to be cookie cutter and we all should want the same things, and we start looking at the aspects that are important to us in particular, that's what's going to make it easy to connect with people. I think people are trying to connect for the outside external look and not the internal of really feeling happy.
Like a real connection. Oh, that's perfect that you said social media, because I was gonna say that too. Is people like look at social media and say, because really social media opened up things that a lot of people weren't meant to see. You know what I mean? And for lack of better way to say it, you know, because if you look at it, like, people, you might see somebody that lives in like Canada. And you're like, that's who I want. And that's, it's like, if you didn't have social media, you would have never. You know what I mean? And you would, and not saying that you know who you meet can't be from Canada, but I've just seen that it's like, you know, for guys and girls, like for the ladies, they'll be like, see, I need this guy. He's got like 5 Bugattis and he travels everywhere. And it's like, maybe, you know, but you might also be happy. Like, you might, if you didn't know he existed, you might have been like, Carl might have been cool.
Not Carl. You know, funny. Not Carl.
You know what I'm saying? Like, John might have been cool if, like, you know, you didn't know this is it. Same with guys. Guys are like, man, I need this Instagram model. I need this Instagram. But if you didn't know they existed, you might be happier with, this is my childhood best friend that I grew up with.
That's true.
And we've been together forever, man. I'd love to. But it's like, but she doesn't look like, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's true. I think also one thing we have to realize, everything is not going to be a quick fix. Like, I think we want things so instant nowadays, and we get rid of things just as quick as we get them. And I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not like that. Like, when I'm like, I wear this outfit, let me get another one. Like, I wear this outfit, let me get another one. We all working on things. God is not working on us individually. But I'm just saying, with people, I think they give up too quickly. Like I said, like when I try to teach my students now, because you have to teach them how to work through conflict, like resolve. When you're trying to share your experiences with another person about why you are who you are and what makes them who they are, there's going to be differences about the way that they interact, but you have to set boundaries within how you have those conversations, and then to figure out if you're compatible. A lot of people don't know the difference between chemistry and compatibility, and they're two separate things.
Can you break that down? I'd love to, if you can.
Goodness, yes.
Okay, just a little bit.
I think chemistry, I think it's something where like the butterflies, like that person makes me feel like you can't pinpoint anything. Yeah. But you're just like, I just have this magical feeling.
Something about them.
Yeah, that's something about them. The familiarity type of feeling. Yeah. Just because something is familiar doesn't necessarily make it right. You can be familiar with trauma and think that just because you've seen it before, that feeling of feeling it, that could be anxiety.
Now you're talking for real. Yeah.
So your body is telling you something. But I think compatibility is being able to coexist with somebody without it being like a rigid experience. Of course, there are particular aspects you're going to have to work on, like normalizing. Even you have to work through those with your friendships sometimes. Yeah. Like, I think about that with my best friend. My best friend, she's from Houston.
Hey,
like, she's from Houston. Yeah. The way that she talked when I first met her in undergrad, she's like, when she yells or when she says something loudly, she's not meaning that to be mean. She just talk loud when she's saying certain things. And I was like, when you talk loud, it hurts my feelings. She don't raise up voice at me. Yeah. She do not from that moment. Then. But it was we have compatibility enough to understand that if I'm bringing something to you, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to say who you are. It's less than. I'm just saying this is what you did and how it impacted me and how it made me have a particular experience. And having somebody that's willing to see that and y'all have the same value, which is I want to respect you and I want to love and I want to care about you in the way that you receive it. That's compatibility. Yes. And that you don't gotta force that. You will be in the same frequency. And a lot of times that person doesn't necessarily make you feel that anxiety, anxious feeling. Sometimes it makes you feel comfortable. Like you meet somebody and you're just like, I feel like I've known you. Like I'm just a little comfortable here. Like you meet people like that. Yeah, exactly. So next time you're meeting somebody and you feel anxious about whether or not they're gonna call you back or whether or not that, like, let's identify that. Is that okay to be feeling anxious and not know if somebody is going to talk to you or not? Right, exactly. No difference between anxious and being happy and being excited about something. There's...
Oh, you talking.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's a separate thing.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Yo, you talking for real. Because, the way you put that about compatibility and give me the other one, compatibility and chemistry. And chemistry. Mm-hmm. Man, that I've never heard it like that, you know. But so many people get caught up in the chemistry. And then that's why we get a cupcake phase. Yeah. And then after the cupcake phase, after you eat all the cupcakes, it's like, what is this? Man, I want some real food now. Like I'm hungry. He's like, oh, what? You know? Yeah. And so and that's perfect. And I think that'll definitely help with dating. I think I know it will. Going more so for compatibility than chemistry. And the only struggle about that, I'm gonna tell you, is the age thing. And in a way where as we get older, we start to lean more into compatibility. And it's a maturity thing. Like, true. You know what I'm saying? It's a maturity thing where you're like, we all been there. You know what I'm saying? And we gain this understanding. But I think where that comes from, what comes after that has to be the kids. It's all about generational. Like you talk to your kids like, hey, y'all got to learn conflict resolution. Yes. Y'all got to do this. And they get it. You might not have gotten that until you were this age, but you're like, man, if I bridge this gap and tell them right now, it'll save so many
issues for people to just be able to vocalize how they really feel. I feel like a lot of people are hiding themselves and they think it's out of protection, but you are missing out on so many great opportunities to connect with people when you're hiding yourself so much. You have to be willing to be vulnerable in order to connect. That's a part of the journey. And it's always not going to work out. And that's what I need people to understand too. You do not need to be at odds with a person because you're not compatible. Yeah. Just because somebody likes something and you don't like it, that's fine. It's fine. Let them be happy. If they like red velvet, you're like, no, it's giving strawberry. Let them like red velvet. let me like strawberry.
Yeah.
That's not offensive. Thank you for trying to get to know me, or we see that we have differences.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Let that person be different. Don't try to change them.
And it's like when I get cake, now I know I'm gonna get me strawberry. I'm gonna get them red velvet.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's
We're just gonna get 2 cakes.
Yeah, 2 separate. Don't try to make it. Now I need the strawberry red
Oh,
velvet.
yeah.
Does that even taste good? Did
You know the ice cream when you have the strawberry
Yes.
vanilla. I'm like, you scoop. Nah,
Yeah.
give me the edge because I don't.
Give it Neapolitan, and I just want vanilla.
There you go.
Like,
I just want
want all that.
There's chocolate in my.
Yes, I do not like. I do not like chocolate ice cream. Guys.
Yeah,
So
see, I'm not.
That's
a
okay to the people that do.
Respect.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we're doing a lot of times. We're humans. We want to be connected. We want to be loved. We want to give love. And I think a lot of times we want that so much that we're willing to sacrifice parts of ourselves that are supposed to stay true to.
Yeah.
And you have to love yourself more than anything else in order for something to work out in the way that you want it to. And I feel like we're more true to ourselves, love yourself, and not focusing on trying to change a person, but loving yourself enough to share your authentic experiences to attract particular people in your life. It'll get easier.
Facts. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. Okay, let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, we have time for, let me see, one more topic.
Yay.
And then we're going to wrap it on up. All right, let's see what you get. Doom, doom, doom.
That was the hardest one. Can't be.
That was good. Yeah, that was good, though. Hey.
Oh, regrets.
All right.
Oh,
so, let's see. All right.
That's
a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Question, what is something that you regret?
Wow. You know, I think about this often because I'm like, is there something in my life that I think that I would do differently? And I think that I'm on this journey of accepting who and the choices I made to the point that I want to be here exactly the way that I am with the knowledge that I know. So I don't want to say there's anything I regret. Maybe there's some outfits that I wore in undergrad that people laughed at me about. No, listen.
I didn't wear some. Yeah.
It's
all right.
You look back at them pictures, the MySpace pictures. Maybe that's about them angles. Why was it up here? I don't know. But other than surface level things, that's pretty much it. I think regret. What is regret to you? What does it really mean? Does it
regret
mean
to me?
Yeah. What does that mean to you?
And I'll tell you this, even with your answer, it's perfectly fine too. Yeah. Because that's why I want people. But I'd say regret to me is so it could be something small or be something big. Yeah. Like, okay, give you an example.
Yeah.
So say you knew about crypto or something. You already. It was like, hey y'all, crypto's coming out. Yeah. It's 0.00 cents. Yeah. And it's like, man, I don't know nothing about that. All right, I'm about to buy me some. Yeah. And then you never see that person again because they're a multi-billionaire.
That is so true. See, I wish I was an experience like that. I wish I had something to say, but
that's okay.
Yeah, I'm real happy about every choice I've actually, like, not happy. In the moment, I probably wasn't happy about it. But I learned. I feel like the only L's I take are lessons. So when you take your lesson and you apply it to your life, it's like I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't go through those things to know. Because sometimes people think ignorance is just bliss. I don't want to be blissfully ignorant. I want to know. I need to go through life so I can know and grow. So
do things on purpose.
Yeah, with a purpose.
I love that. No, that's perfect. Yay. That's perfect. Yeah, you don't have to have no regrets.
Yeah,
I love that. Because that's what I want people to know is like your life gets shaped that way. And you make some decisions that put you off. But like we were talking about earlier about guys like there's some mistakes that you're going to make. Yeah. But I need that so you can be taught by somebody. You can't perfect it by yourself.
You cannot.
You can't.
And somebody can tell you, but some lessons you don't learn until you do it yourself. They can be like, don't touch the stove, it's hot. And here you are. How hot can it be?
I could handle it. Ooh.
And now you got to put some icy pack. Like, you're hot. Got a scar. Everything.
Oh, hot. Oh, yeah. Okay. But then you learn, like, I'm not going to touch the stove.
Exactly.
So it's that same thing. Yeah. Okay. I enjoy Y'all, this is my friend right here. For real. This is my friend. For real. Yay. Thank you so much for coming on the Bowl podcast. Oh, last thing. If you could tell them your social media, where to find you, and then just give them like a last message like, hey guys, you got to do this. Just make your life better. And there's your camera right here.
Okay. Ooh, not my headphones falling. Let me.
Oh yeah, she got a crown on with some headphones. And then after that, if you could, I just want you to grab your sash and just show it.
Okay.
You can just
I'll go do that. I'm trying to hold my headphones.
No, you good.
Okay. So guys, my @name on Instagram is Ronnisha, Ronnisha, and my Miss Dallas is Miss Dallas USA. That is my handle for Instagram. The only thing that I would have to say is with my journey to going to Miss Texas, literally 10 days away, take chances, take risk, educated risk that makes sense within reason as many times as possible. I think when we start taking chances on ourselves, that's when we prove to ourselves that we can do things that we thought were impossible. So do that. Do the impossible, because if you can think it, it can happen. So that's what I have to say. Now I'm about to go get my sash.
Okay, yeah, she's going to grab her sash real quick. I got to put it on there so y'all can see it here. Yeah, you just sit right here. Yeah. All right, baby. Sheesh. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's beautiful. Look. That is beautiful. Wow, that's so crazy. So, and let me ask, is it passed down, or is it like, is the same sash passed down, or we
get a new one?
Okay,
because we get a new one because it's different dates. So I'm 2022,
of course,
and then the person before me 2021.
That's so cool.
And then we couldn't share this. The way we be putting makeup on this, we be turning our heads and makeup on the side. They probably wouldn't even want to. They don't want mine.
You keep it. Yeah.
That was nice, but it's for you.
It's not my
No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Ronnisha. You might. I love Ronnie. Of course.
It's so much fun.
All right, y'all. This has been the Bold Podcast. I will catch y'all later. Thanks again, and we out. Peace.
Peace out. Yay.
The Bold Podcast.